Tallahassee might fly under the radar, but as Florida's capital city, it's full of character, charm, and even a few surprises. We spent 24 hours here and we found beautiful scenic trails, cozy coffee shops, local eats, and a whole lot of history woven into the mix. If you've only got one day in Tallahassee, here's how to make the most of it. Let's jump in. We started the day with a visit to Lucky Goat Coffee, a place with great pastries and great cortados. You always know a coffee shop is going to be good when you see a design like this on their back wall. From there, we set out to start our adventure with a visit to the Florida State Capitol. When we arrived, we stumbled on the Vietnam War Memorial right outside the building, and it was beautiful to see. It's such a unique design with a 28-foot flag waving on the inside, and it was placed here in 1985. Made it to downtown Tallahassee. Our first stop is the old Capitol and the new Capitol for the state of Florida. This is a pretty unique spot as there's actually the two Capitol buildings still here, the old and the new Capitol side by side. The old Capitol looks like something out of a history book with beautiful white columns, while the new Capitol is a 22-story modern high-rise building built in the 1970s. It's a total contrast, but you should definitely see both. This building was brought back to the way that it was in 1902, so this is what the governor's office would have looked like in 1902. Like, it's time for everybody's favorite part of the video. Pops! You actually fit into that one almost perfectly. Here's what the Supreme Court would have looked like in 1902. Check it out, the Supreme Court selfie stop. It even has Supreme Court robes. Pops is just dying to put this on.
Yeah, I think it's meant more for children.
That's more a Supreme Court jacket for you.
Welcome to the court. I'm glad you're here. We're going to take up the case of Josh McNair versus Pops in terms of who is the better talent. At the moment, all jurors are in favor of Pops being the most talented on this video.
I think probably most commenters are in favor of Pops being the most talented too. You can also walk into the old Senate building, which is cool to see with the historic desks that they used. And then there's even a small area for children to play and a museum in the middle. The old Capitol actually dates back to 1845 and it's free to visit. The last thing to see here on the other side of the building is the House of Representatives. It's cool that they kept this Capitol building here because they were supposed to demolish it before people protested it in order to keep it. We're gonna head to the new Capitol building right now. So there's the old Capitol and then the new Capitol is right behind it. It takes about 10 minutes to walk around to the entrance for the new Capitol building, and then once you're there you have to go through the standard metal detectors and things like that to enter. We explored the first and second floor for a while and it was a little bit confusing to figure out how to get to the observation area, but finally we figured it out. Check it out, Bob Ross is in the Florida Artists Hall of Fame. Cool thing about this Capitol building is that you can actually go to the 22nd floor, so that's what we're doing right now, and we'll see if Pops even gets out of the elevator. It's pretty cool to have a view up here, but unfortunately for us, it's a little bit rainy this morning, so it's not the greatest view. It's really unique for a Capitol building to let you go up this high and have a view like this over the city. Guys, look at Pops. He's up here at the top, he's looking out the window. Man.
There's glass, there's walls.
That's never stopped you before.
I feel safe up here.
There's the memorial that we walked by to come in, so the actual old Capitol would be right here, but you can't see it. It's pretty cool that they also have an art gallery on this upper floor with different Florida artists as well. The rain's supposed to stop in about an hour, so we're heading on to one more museum before exploring more of the city. Leaving the Capitol, we drove about 20 minutes outside of the city to one of Tallahassee's most popular tourist attractions, the Tallahassee Automobile Museum. This is one of those places where you might just go in expecting old cars, and you'll definitely get that, but you'll also see everything from Batmobiles to historic pianos and even sports memorabilia here. What they have here is an authentic vampire killing kit, said made in the 1800s. They have hundreds of classic cars with everything ranging from an 1880s horse-drawn carriage to muscle cars and hot rods. Florida State Highway Patrol in 1940. They even have a replica of the hearse that was used to transport Abraham Lincoln after he was shot. This place is amazing. They collect everything here. They have sports memorabilia from signed things from Babe Ruth. They got golf clubs, historic golf clubs, boats. I mean, they have a little bit of everything here. Of course, the best part of the museum, though, is the Batman section. This is one of 5 cars from Batman Returns and is supposed to be one of the best Batmobiles of all time to fans. The sign says this is Batmobile number 2 from that movie, and that a replica of this Batmobile, not even one of the original 5, sold for $1.1 million in Russia. And here's an original Batcycle used in the Batman TV show. And here's the one from Batman Forever, which was one of my favorite movies growing up, but pretty cheesy when you look back on it now. And of course the always classic from the TV show, and the Duckmobile that Penguin drives in the movie. Never thought I would see a Duckmobile, that's for sure. This place literally has everything. There's knives up here, there's even a section of old electric fans. Looks like there's some taxidermy animals. I mean, what more could you want from an automobile museum?
I mean, look, and they got Volkswagens over here. This is not open, bro.
Yeah, it's even gonna get bigger. It said that this car had a smokestack and a train whistle, and it was built in the 1920s for Paramount to advertise their new movies or to drive around their celebrities. We're hiding from the rain again. What did you think of that museum, Pops?
Very eclectic museum. You could go there if you like boats, if you like boat motors, if you like motorcycles. But the automobile truck collection was really, really beautiful. It's lots of amazing stuff. And of course, Josh wanted to go there exclusively for Batman. So he got his Batman fix from there.
That's one of the best collections of They had 2 Batmobiles and they had a duck car. Oh no, they had 3 Batmobiles because they had the one from the TV show. That was a really, really fun museum. So much stuff to see. Meet a vampire killing kit? Let's head on to our next stop. For some reason, there's also a cow that looks like it's almost from the one we saw on Route 66, and a different kind of Batmobile out in front as well. Museum has everything. We're 25 minutes back into the city next to Florida State University. We're gonna go to lunch at Maple Street Biscuit Company. One of Pop's favorite things in the whole world is biscuits, so.
And maple.
It's all your spot. One of my favorite things about traveling to college towns is experiencing the food that surrounds the university. And this is definitely the type of food you'd expect, and I'm here for it.
Look at this monster.
Wow,
That's
that is
called
a
the
monstrosity right there.
It's called the 5 and Dime. I don't know how to approach this.
I don't think you can pick it up. I think you got to use a fork and knife probably.
But not only biscuits and gravy and an egg, but fried chicken. What could be wrong with that?
Man, Pops is not going to make it through the rest of our day. He's going to go take a nap after this, I think.
I think I will.
Pops, what's your review?
That was great. The sausage gravy had a nice kind of warmth to it that warmed up after a bit. I loved the fried chicken, had a good crispiness. And of course, the biscuits were great. Yeah, I totally recommend this spot.
Pops got more excited with each bite. It was pretty funny to watch. We're gonna head on and see what the rain ends up doing for the rest of the day. It kept saying that the rain was about to stop, but it basically didn't stop the whole day. When we were researching Tallahassee, we saw pictures online of this amazing old live oak in this area called Lich Gate. So that's what we're going to right now. Feels like we're going through a rainforest right now as well. When we arrived at the tree, we could not believe our eyes that this 300-year-old tree was still thriving in the middle of this forest. There's Pops, he is 6'7". Look at how big this tree is. I've heard that they do weddings here, and I have to say, I would have loved to have gotten married under this old tree. That's incredible. This area was once owned by Dr. Laura Jepson, a professor at Florida State University who preserved the space. And anyone who's seen this tree is surely thankful for her work. It's interesting how this branch came off and almost looks like it's gone underground and then come back up to start its own tree.
It's interesting when you look at how far the branches extend out. I kind of estimated by walking it off, it's probably about 150 to 170 feet in diameter from one edge of the branches to the other edge of the branches. It's crazy.
Next up, we're heading to the Tallahassee Museum. If you ever wondered about Pops and I's commitment, we are the only people at the Tallahassee Museum, and we borrowed umbrellas to show it to y'all.
Look at this. Hopefully you're impressed.
Hopefully you're impressed, and hopefully it's worth it. We have one day in Tallahassee. We're making the most of it. So it looks like there's a ropes course. Pops, you want to do the ropes course in the rain?
I wouldn't do it not in the rain.
Museums are normally great on rainy days, but this is actually almost fully an outdoor museum. Florida water moccasin, that is a big boy. And that is an eastern diamondback rattlesnake. Just in case you were wondering, Pops had a great comment. You don't want to play with those snakes as opposed to the other kind of snakes you play with.
I would play with a gopher snake.
This museum has over 52 acres of forest, swamp, and lakeside trails, and we headed out on the nature trail. Check out this ropes course above me. I bet this would be a pretty epic way to experience this area. This is an incredibly cool museum. The nature trail here is amazing, and look at those trees out there.
Instead of taking stuff out of nature and put it in a building, it's kind of like they take you and put you in nature, which is really cool.
Yeah. The views here really are incredible, especially as you get out to the boardwalk trail near the animals. And there's the zipline course above Pops again.
There's like a bunch of different ways too that you climb across. Looks like this is like a little thing you sit on or something and it goes across.
Oh yeah, it's like a little cart. It's Pop's spirit animal, the striped skunk. One of the main highlights of the museum is the small zoo that they have in the back with lots of different Florida animals. Here they have everything from Florida panthers, black bears, wolves, otters, deer, and turkey. And of course they have alligators as well, who are just hiding out in the water. This is obviously not a great day to see animals in the wild like this, but we made the most of it and we actually saw a decent amount of animals. We came to see some animals, but we are both just blown away by how beautiful the surrounding area is. Look at the reflections and just the cool trees. No Florida black panther has ever been documented, not one ever. They usually have tan or plain coats. There's a bobcat. They're apparently not upset about the rain. Look up, bobcats may be in the trees, and there's one right up there. And that is a red wolf running out there.
Now we've come to Josh's spirit animal, which is known as the wild turkey.
Boo. Last thing before we make it back is the birds of prey area, but I don't think we're gonna see much here today. As you can see, the animals were out and actually pretty active, so it wasn't a bad day to go there, even in the rain. We were the only people on that entire park, and Pops is all about the ropes course. He's gonna come back and do it, I think.
Well, it's funny, they said you could just come and do it, and they'll have somebody walk around the ground in case you have a problem, but otherwise just do it.
That actually sounds pretty amazing. We got a couple more stops, one being a boat tour at a state park, so hopefully the rain stops for that. We had a little time to kill before heading south to go on our boat tour, so we went back in the city and we went to Catalina Coffee to get some work done and to grab some coffee. This was a cool spot with lots of different options, and my dad loved the Mexican mocha that he got with a little bit of spice. From there, we headed about 30 minutes south to Wakula Springs State Park for our boat tour. We've made it, and as you can see, the rain has not improved. They said the boat goes out as long as there's no lightning, so we're gonna go on a rainy boat tour. Hopefully your trip to Tallahassee is way better than this, but at least we're showing you what to do. One of the coolest things about waiting at the boat tour is seeing the Wakula Springs Lodge. This building was built in 1937 and it was originally used as a guest house until it was converted to a lodge in 1981. It now has 27 rooms and it's part of the Historic Hotels of America, and I really wish I would have stayed here for one night. This is the longest marble bar east of the Mississippi River. This was also a filming location for the original Creatures from the Black Lagoon, and there's lots of information about that, including them even having some of the clips from the movie on in the lobby. I don't know, you might be able to take him. He can swim better than you though.
No doubt.
All three of these movies were filmed here: Airport 77, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Joe Panther. If you're interested in Creatures from the Black Lagoon history, they'll actually show you a couple filming spots while you're on the boat tour. Alligators are present along the trails and waterways of the park. We got our tickets in advance and definitely do that as it sells out during the busy season, especially since it was only $7.50 to go on the tour when we went. This 45-minute tour is scenic, slow-paced, and absolutely packed with wildlife, even on a rainy day like what we had. Along the way, the tour guide goes slow, stopping often and telling you all about the surrounding nature and the different wildlife you're seeing. I was impressed by the dozens of different birds that we saw, and I actually found myself looking out for new birds as we were cruising along. One of the first things that we saw were manatee right below the boat, and they said there's actually a couple of manatee who live here year-round. Our boat guide was especially awesome. He was a local expert with a great personality and told us all about the ecology, wildlife facts, fun stories, and even film locations. He did tell us that normally if it's sunny, they'll see 20 or 30 alligators on a tour like this, and we only saw a couple because it was cold and they were staying in the water. Other wildlife you'll often see are turtles, herons, egrets, ospreys, and more. Here was our first of the 2 alligator sightings, this one with just its head above the water. Luckily the second one was out a little bit more and you could see its entire body. This is only a 45-minute tour, but it was packed with so much information and so much to see that I highly recommend it, and I would easily do it again if I was in the area. He did show us a creature from the Black Lagoon filming location, which I think was somewhere around here, but I honestly can't remember. And then on the way back, we saw one more manatee floating in the water before we docked the boat.
I had no idea what to expect with that because of the rain, but that was incredible. It was so cool. We saw tons of birds. We saw 3 or 4 alligators. They said you could see 50 on a sunny day. You have to do that if you're in Tallahassee.
Absolutely, and the thing that Josh found, that was like under $10 to take this boat ride, which was incredible.
It was like $7.50 a person. I mean, how do you beat that? That's amazing.
From there, we drove about 30 minutes back into the city to do a couple more things.
We've made it to our last stop of the day, Railroad Square Arts District.
This used to be a warehouse and industrial park, and now it's a walkable hub of art studios, galleries, vintage shops, and funky cafes in the city.
I think this could be a really cool area. There's all this interesting art and stuff to see, but there's not really much going on here right now. In the food hall, there was only one place that was open. It was selling like juices. We're trying to find a pinball area, so hopefully, fingers crossed, we can do that. And let me know, maybe it's just the rain, I don't know.
Even though there was not much open, luckily Flippin' Great Pinball was open. This spot is awesome. Me and my dad love pinball machines and we play them often on our trip, and it was only $10 a person for an entire hour of playing as much as you wanted.
Since you don't have to pay per game, Pops is playing with both guns. I challenged Pops to his favorite game of all time, Dance Dance Revolution. Alright, I can stop now. I'm up by four times Pop's score. I've always been the better dancer.
I went on, I only double.
As you can see, we both got D's, so Dance Dance Revolution is not either one of our games. We had an absolute blast here though, and our hour went by quickly as we tried basically everything in the whole shop.
This is pretty hard to beat. There's so many different things to play here, and Pops is horrible at all of them.
Let's bet.
Check it out, the sun came out right at the end of our day in Tallahassee. Also, that spot is a total blast. $10 to play all you want for an hour. It's pretty hard to beat. We're doing one more thing, and that's going to a local college pizza spot. Momo's Pizza, slices as big as your head. Pop says he has a big head though, and he doesn't know if it's gonna be big enough.
As I said earlier, when we're in a college town, we love trying to find what the college kids eat. And we were told by multiple people that this hole-in-the-wall pizza shop gets packed on the weekends and that the college students love it.
Wow, even with Pop's big head, I think it's actually bigger.
Right there, yeah.
That is a huge slice of pizza. Here is my hand for reference.
Oh my gosh, this is like a it's like 1.5 pounds of
Yeah.
food too.
The custom is under the cheese, but it is on mix. Does that work for you?
It's got banana peppers, it's got jalapenos, it's got cheese, it's got tomatoes, it's got bacon, and it has sriracha ranch on the top.
Man,
I think it's gonna be a little spicy to eat that whole thing, but that is good.
that's what you order when you can't make up your mind.
Pretty much. They had a pizza with pineapple and broccoli on it here. They got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, oh thank you.
And with that epic pizza, our day in Tallahassee is done. If you're from Tallahassee, let us know how we did in the comments. Pops, what was your favorite part?
You know, it's crazy. I gotta say, the boat ride was fun, and I love that beautiful, huge tree.
Yeah, the boat ride, absolutely. That was the best thing we did. It was so cool. If you want to continue following along with us, we're doing a Gulf Coast road trip. You can see it up here when it's posted. We'll see you on the next video.